Hello, I'm Piers Thurston, and in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about what transformative coaching is, which is a new form, emerging form of coaching that is becoming very popular now in the US and the UK, and it's led by people like Neill and his new book, which is called The Inside Out Revolution, based on some work by someone called Sydney Banks. So transformative coaching is a very different way of working with a client. Now, for 10 years, I was working as a coach, using performance coaching, using models of coaching, concepts, a lot of NLP. I'm an NLP trainer, even hypnosis and hypnotherapy, and I used to get very successful results with my clients. However, in the last couple of years, as I've been studying this new grounding around transformative coaching, I've been amazed at the results that I'm getting with my coaching and my clients are getting in their lives. And also, added bonus is it's even more effortless as a coach to work with someone. It was pretty easy before, but it's even more enjoyable and even more effortless. So you might be thinking, well, what is this new wonderful way of coaching? Well, it's based on a very different premise to how I used to coach. It's based on the idea that you work with your client to have a vertical conversation rather than a horizontal one. And what that means is that my role when I'm with my clients now is to enable them to understand and realise at a deep level the truth about how human beings create their experience of their world. And that's where we start the conversation, as opposed to having a conversation about what they would like to be different in different areas of their life, so their career, their health, their wealth, their relationships. So it's not a goal-based coaching approach. Goals do happen and goals do emerge out of it, but they become very inside out, because once you see the true nature of how we create our human experience, you start working in alignment with the innate universal resourcefulness that we all have, which brings with it clarity, desire and motivation, resilience, well-being, peace of mind, and a lot of the other things that we picked up along the way through our conditioning just fall off. And you experience new levels of well-being and new levels of peace of mind and clarity about what you'd like to have in your life. And this comes from having a very fundamental coaching conversation, a very deep, profound conversation, where your role as the coach is to point people at the truth of how we all as human beings create our experience. And it's based on some very fundamental principles and very profound principles, which were actually discovered by someone called Sydney Banks in 1970s. And these principles are, for me, they are what sits behind all the other things I was doing as a coach. So my NLP, my hypnotherapy, my clean language, my GROW model, whatever it might be, that they all had some effect, but that they weren't really pointing to the fundamental nature of how human beings create their experience. And the result of that, they would be a little bit hit and miss. And they'd work for some people more than others, or they'd work for some people for a period of time and then they'd kind of fall off. And they needed topping up, or people would have to create rituals or practices to keep that high quality or state of mind for them as they navigated through life. Now, with this more profound approach, once you have a deep shift, it's there. It's pervasive. It's not contained to one area of your life, and it's always there to point yourself back to. Now, I'm not saying that you go into a utopian world where you never get into a negative state of mind. Of course you do, because that's the nature of the human system. But when you're in that more negative mind, it doesn't bother you as much, and it tends not to last as long, because you can point yourself back to the truth. So this all may sound a little abstract and a little bit cryptic, but all I wanted to do in this short video is to give you a flavour. Now, if you're interested and curious, I'm running some webinars to help people experience this for themselves. So if you're interested, just drop me a line and we can have another conversation.